You and I are having this conversation today because I want to help you avoid years of challenges and frustrations at work, wondering, why did I get passed over for a promotion when everyone else around me seems to be moving up in their careers? What is it? What am I doing or saying wrong? See, this was happening to me, and I started studying what leaders do and say. And the first thing is they don't say, I don't know. If someone asks you a question, the first thing that comes to mind might be, I don't know the answer. And that's an honest response. But you can still be honest and sound like a leader. Don't say, I don't know. Instead, say, let me check on that and get back to you. See, when you say, I don't know, it doesn't make you sound like you're in charge. It makes people just want to skip over you and ask someone else for help. I used to think that when someone would ask me to make a decision at work, that saying I don't know or I'm not sure was being considerate of others in case other people on my team maybe wanted something different. Even as simple as where to go for lunch. I don't know, where do you want to go for lunch? What do you feel like eating? But that's a problem because while it may be nice and people saw me as the nice girl, it also sounded super indecisive. And when people think about who should be promoted to a leadership position, they don't think about the indecisive person. They think about the person who can make decisions quickly, especially under pressure. So start practicing making decisions. Start by deciding simple things like what you want to eat for lunch. Sometimes if I said, I don't know, it's because I really didn't know. So what do you do if you're really not sure or you really don't know what you want or what to decide? Well, if this is the case, it might be because you need to spend some more time getting to know yourself. I know that was the truth for me. I really needed to do some self-discovery and figure out what it is that I really like. If you have had a lifetime of parents, teachers, friends, whoever, telling you what you should do or should like or should think, then this is going to be really important for you. And if it's difficult, because I know it is, think about someone who you admire. Who is your hero? It could be a person in the media or a leader at work, in life, in politics. Anyway, think about that hero and what they would do in your situation. And you can emulate them, copy them until it starts feeling true for you. So don't say, I don't know. There are so many better things that you can say instead of I don't know. If you are watching this and you are a native English speaker, this is for you. Even though this channel is also for English language learners, this topic is definitely for someone like you, like me. I'm a native English speaker, and these are not really things that we learn in school, unfortunately. When I was really sick and tired of not being seen at work, I started looking at what do leaders do? What do those people who everyone looks up to, what do they say and do differently? And one thing I noticed was they don't say, that's not my job or that's not my responsibility, which is, very common when people don't want to do something or it's literally not their job. They would say that, but it doesn't sound very good to say that because you're not taking responsibility for the situation. Maybe that task is not your job or not your responsibility, or it's not my problem is another phrase that you might hear. But if you want to be a leader, you have to at least say something like, let me find out who is responsible for that and I'll make sure it gets done. So in your own way, you are taking responsibility for that outcome. Leaders always have this extreme sense of responsibility and ownership. It doesn't mean that they do everything themselves, but it means that they're always going to make sure that things get done by talking to the person who is supposed to do it, by finding out and helping them maybe if there's a roadblock. I was shocked that I actually got fired once from a job. This is not a lie. This is 100% true. I got fired for not being social after work. They didn't think that I was a team player because I would always say, I'm tired, I want to go home, I don't want to go out for drinks after work. I was a little bit too honest, let's say. Instead of saying I don't want to, or I can't, or I have other plans all the time, it's a really good idea to at least go some of the time. And if you don't really want to go, you could at least offer an alternative. Let's go out for coffee sometime, let's go out for lunch, or just say, yeah, I'll come for one drink, but I really have to get home after that because my dog is waiting for me, or whatever you want to say. Or just end the sentence there. I'll have one drink, but then I have to get home. But social situations outside of work are really important for networking with your team and getting to know each other a little bit outside of work. At the time, I was really confused, but looking back, I realized I definitely didn't get a promotion at work because I wouldn't even go out to lunch with my colleagues. I wasn't being social. I wasn't seen as someone who wanted to be there and get to know other people. But I am an introvert. I often prefer spending time alone. And the truth was, I wanted to bring a healthier lunch to work. I wanted to, eat really healthy, different and cheaper than you can when you go out to eat. But I didn't realize how that was affecting my work life. So I think instead of saying, no, I don't want to go out to eat lunch with everyone, you could say an alternative like, why don't we grab coffee tomorrow? Or later this afternoon, or you could say, yeah, I can do that, but do it like once a week or every other week and then bring your lunch the rest of the times. I got passed over a lot for promotions at work because I didn't think through when I gave excuses like, oh, can you do this? Oh no, I don't know how to. Like, can you make this spreadsheet? It's easy to get really stuck in your career if you use the phrase, I can't. I can't is probably the worst phrase ever because even if it's true, it could also be true that you could learn to do that thing. Or if you need to take care of something first and then do that thing, just say that. Say, okay, I need to research a little bit about how to do this and then I can do it. Or I need to take care of some other things first that are priorities. I have a lot on my plate right now, but then let me get back to you and I think maybe I can. Now, you don't want to promise something you can't do, but I'm just saying beware of excuses and this phrase, I can't, because it's often just a self-limiting phrase. Now, I used to teach Spanish and English as a second language in a classroom, at a school, at a university actually, and at a business. And if you are a teacher and you've ever been in the teacher's room, that's where a lot of talk happens. It's so easy to get caught up in gossip. It might not even seem like gossip, but talking about other people, negative comments, even if you think that they might be funny or improve the mood, it is often just not a good idea. So be super careful about gossip or negative comments. If you feel yourself wanting to jump into a conversation that's a little bit negative or catty or gossipy, just try saying something positive, anything positive, even if it's just, wow, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Or, I had a great cup of coffee this morning. How about you? I don't know anything but negativity. My biggest issue is saying, I'll just do it myself. That's my biggest weakness because I am really independent. I like working on my own. I don't know if you can relate to this, but sometimes it just feels easier to do things yourself. But the truth is, a real leader knows how to delegate. So instead of saying, I'll just do it myself, say, let me find help for this, or who can help me with this? Or think, who would be best suited to ask for advice on how to get this done? Okay, when I was younger, I used to think I knew everything, and the older I get, the more I know that I don't know. So early on in my career, I would always think, I already know that. And I wouldn't necessarily say this out loud, but saying it out loud would be even worse, because the important thing is to keep an open mind. So instead of thinking or saying, I already know that, replace that thought or phrase with, I wonder what I can learn in this situation. So even if someone is saying things you already know, like what can you observe about the way they're saying it or how they are doing their job? You can always learn something. By now, I am at least 20 years into my English teaching career, and I have this fear that I'm gonna start saying things like, that's not the way we used to do it, or that's not the way it's done, because that's often the kind of thing that you hear from people who are well established in their careers. So instead of saying that's not the way we do it, try to keep an open mind, and you could ask a question like, oh, I wonder if there's a different way to consider doing this. Or if you don't know what to say when someone is like presenting a new way to do something, I just like to say, tell me more, or that's interesting, because it neither means that you're approving or disproving of the idea. You're simply open to exploring it. So you and I had this conversation today about how to avoid challenges and frustrations in your career, feeling stuck in one place in your career. And we looked at phrases that leaders don't say and what they would say instead, things that they don't do and would do instead. So if you found this helpful, or if you want to add more tips, leave them in the comments. I'm excited to hear from you, to learn from you, and I hope that here at Go Natural English, as a family, as a community, we can help each other to grow and learn and improve our lives and careers together. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Gabby Wallace from GoNaturalEnglish.com, and I'll see you here again next week. Bye for now.